Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
What is going on, guys? It's Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, and I just got done watching the first Demon Slayer movie that was produced and that is out there. I know a lot of people are hyped. I was absolutely hyped. I really love the Demon Slayer series. The anime series is one beautiful soundtrack, animation, characters, just overall premise. I was really excited. I'm a Demon Slayer fan. Now, this is going to be a spoiler review. It's just to warn you guys, if you haven't seen the film, I do recommend going out and watching that and then coming back and watching this spoiler review. Honestly, throughout this film, I was at a 7 out of 10 until the final third act. There's a lot to like about this film. There is a lot of emotional strings being pulled, a lot of emotional scenes. The animation is once again beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing. A lot to like, especially with Tenjiro. And I like the premise of a lot of him and his comrades going into the sleep. And you see Tenjiro, his dreams of course, his family being alive. And then, of course, you get introduced to Rengoku, like really get introduced to him. This dude is a beast, and I'll explain why they dropped the ball just a little bit on him. You have cute moments with Nezuko and of course Zenitsu. I love these two together. I do think Zenitsu didn't get a lot to be in this film, and that's one of my more favorite characters after being annoyed with him when he got introduced, but he quickly became one of my favorites. Inosuke gets a lot of good screen time in here. At first he doesn't, but he helps out in the battle towards the end. His dream and of course Zenitsu's dream play as comical effects, but Tanjiro's dream is just really heartfelt. I think it really showcases the beauty of the film. That's the kind of the memorable moments in this movie, which I gotta say, I don't think it needed to be a movie. I honestly think it should have been a season. It was a little bit vanilla throughout the whole, through most of the film. There is great moments here and there, but there is generic moments and there's predictability. I mean, we all knew Zenitsu was going to come save the day. I did like the comical effect though, where he was still asleep. You knew the pacing is a little off. The villain, the Lower Moon villain, Lower Moon number 1 villain, who was introduced at the end of the season, really is so generic. Not that great, honestly. It baffled me in this film because he does it. I saw this dub, and I will say I like the sub better. There is some characters I really like that they dubbed the dub voice acting in here. There's some characters, but Inosuke's dub version I absolutely did not like. I felt like I was listening to the comic book guy from The Simpsons. Inosuke's Japanese actor does a phenomenal job, and there is anime out there that the dub does a fantastic job, but with this one it was like kind of a hit and a miss, and it either threw you off a little bit. It just really depended on if you watch sub or dub. Everybody wanted to watch dub in my group, so I said okay, we'll do that, and I'm not going to take that away from the film, but I will say Inosuke, I was kind of missing the Japanese actor's voice in that character. It's such a vanilla generic villain. Says things that we already know, like the one scene where he's talking about the ticket and how his jutsu basically, or his powers work. We already got that. We already were explained by that when Tanjiro was explaining that to us before that. So I thought that was really bad. I didn't need that. There was more tell and don't show, when there should have been just show and then we could kind of tell. So I wasn't feeling that at all. Love about the Demon Slayer season is that Tanjiro, when he fights these demons, he gets a moment with them, right? And he gets a moment where he gets a clarity of where he sees the little humanity those demons still have. With this one, the Lower Moon, there was none of that. There was the Lower Moon got defeated. trying to understand why it goes to every single character of faulting the plan and ruining his big scheme and all that stuff. And it's you don't get that. You don't really care for this villain, for this Lower Moon, even though he was kind of set up and hyped up in the last season. In this movie, he's just not that interesting, not that great, and you don't get that Tanjiro moment. You get some awesome fight sequences throughout this film, but it would have been nice to another moment with Tanjiro and a demon that he slays. You could have saw maybe the little bit of good, but this demon did have. It seemed like he didn't have any good with whatsoever in him. I just felt like the villain could have been just better fleshed out a little bit. Maybe that's why I wanted more of a season, because the movie is really got to go, and you lose a lot of characters you want to see. Like Nezuko is just really there to fight off a little bit of the demon's power in the train. She kind of shows up really late. I'm like, where's Nezuko at? She's there to be cute and adorable. So, and I honestly thought, man, they really needed her. If Rengoku can't be a demon, what do you have in your arsenal? A demon. So it would have been great to see Nezuko fight along Rengoku. They really needed her. I know that there was like circumstances why she was over there. I think she was knocked out, and then Zenitsu was knocked out. But man, would have been great to like see her do battle, right? With Upper Moon. Oh, that would have been great. The other thing too is that they're in their sleep. Why are you going into their subconscious, and why are you trying to find like their inner kind of thoughts? Just slit their throats. They're asleep. They're asleep. That's it. No movie. Just kill them right there. Why are you playing with your food, Lower Moon? That was another issue I had, but after that I was just like, I'll just go with it. Some of the jokes kind of, it was a hit and a miss. It's like your typical anime jokes. This was a very typical, especially newer kind of anime that like to bring movies out, like a Naruto. This was a shonen type movie, right? But boy, was there some beauty into it. Boy, was there some greatness into it. Let's talk about Rengoku. Rengoku was awesome. This bumped the 7 to an 8 at that last third arc. We get introduced to him. He's this quirky kind of guy. He's very smart. Tanjiro and everybody takes a liking to him right away. I'm so sad that he's already done though. He dies at the end of the movie. He dies. And I'm like, no. If they would have made him the main character in just the movie. I mean, you could, Tanjiro, of course, is our main character, but you make him the main character in the movie. And what I mean by that, I would have liked to see more of the backstory, more of the relationship with his father, really kind of show us everything we need to do to make his character make this his movie, where we can go back and say, that was Rengoku's movie. This is the first time he was introduced, and this was the last time we were introduced by him. I don't want the last third act, the final act to give me all this. I think they needed to stretch out that little backstory, or a little bit more emotional pull, or a little bit more of his characteristic in this film, to make it like, if they would have done that and they would have just really focused on him and then focused on Tanjiro as the second main character, I think this movie would have been a 10 out of 10. Even though we lose a little bit more of the other characters like inosuke, Zenitsu, Nezuko, but they were already doing that. And I think if you're to really give it a true beginning, middle, and end, give it to Rengoku, because he's not there in that big middle part. He's there in the beginning, and then he goes away, then he comes back in a third act, and then it's his movie. And when it's his movie, it's fantastic. I was really sad to see him go, but the fight was phenomenal against Upper Moon. It was fantastic. And when I say Upper Moon, I'm talking about Akaza. And this guy comes in, and this guy is, man, this is where I was like, holy shit. They're going to end it. They're going to fight, they're going to end it, and then they're going to set up for the next season. No, they went all out on the third act. I mean, when Akaza comes in, the Upper Moon, oh man, this thing gets turned up. Like, this is what went from a 7 to 8. The fight was phenomenal. The music was phenomenal. The speeches with Rengoku, the conflict, the back and forth tug of war. Tanjiro still healing. You have Inosuke knowing that even if he gets involved, he's just going to be a burden. So that was like really, that was fantastic. But it happens at the very last kind of third act. So it was very kind of predictable, generic throughout the film until that happened. I feel bad because the first villain wasn't as memorable, but the second villain when he came in, it actually it's just phenomenal, right? It was phenomenal when Upper Moon came in. The overall flow of the film, it did get slowed down in some parts, but then it picks up like towards the right in the middle. Fight's great. There's a lot of different kind of emotions you feel in this film. You laugh, you almost cry. There's emotional moments, and I think those emotional moments really elevate the film. It really pulls you in. There is a couple times like with speeches, especially when Tanjiro is talking shit to the Upper Moon and he's trying to get away, and he's like, "You're a coward. You lost. Rengoku won." And I think I would have liked a little bit more interaction with Tanjiro and Rengoku when I think about it, because I wanted, because actions speak louder than words, and Rengoku has showed that, especially when he kept everybody alive on the train. But I think I would have liked a little bit more of the master and student relationship, just a little bit more interactions, right? Instead of Tanjiro asking about the technique that his dad and he was able to do. The emotional scene, of course, is when Goku at the mom, man, when he sees his mom in back of Tanjiro, that really pulled my heartstrings, especially when he tells Tanjiro about his brother. Like, everything with Rengoku was awesome, was great. And the dub voice acting in the beginning was like, but then I really got into it, and the voice actor did a phenomenal job on the dub voice actor did a phenomenal job on Rengoku. I would say though, so when Tanjiro is making these speeches and Rengoku does his speech and he goes away, he dies, it's a thing where like somebody nails something when he talks about something, but then he continues to go on, and you're like, no, you had to just leave it like that. They keep going on with that scene, right? I didn't necessarily like Inosuke. I do want to see emotion with Inosuke, but they don't have to continue to play the comedy card in there. Just leave it at that. We get it. We got it. It's it's anime. They like to hype up the emotion, but some animes do it so phenomenal where they know when to stop. And sometimes in this movie, they don't know when to stop. Speeches, the emotion is so hyped up, but I guess it is what it is, basically. I do love the ending where the crow is telling all the pillars, like, Rengoku has fallen. I love that. There's a lot to love about this film, but then there was I feel like the first half of the film really was just generic and okay, and then it just really, really picked up, and it started to get what I wanted. But if I had to say, like I said, the problem with this is I just wanted to, it's not a movie. It's not a complete movie. It could have been, if you give it a season, you flesh out more. Or even, you don't even have to go 26 episodes. You go a good 12 episodes. I think you get more of an emotional impact of Rengoku, and you get more shine for a lot of these other guys. So Demon Slayer, I give it an 8 out of 10. I can't go 9. I can't go 10 out of 10. But there is some phenomenal scenes in here. There is some things that I would have changed, or I would have not go that route. And honestly, I enjoyed the movie. It's great to be back in the movie theater, but I think I would have fleshed this out, and I think I would have preferred it as a season, and maybe do a movie for the final arc of the series. I think that would have worked better, but they got to make their money. I understand that, but overall, I did enjoy this film. It left me with a lasting impression after that last third act. It really left me. Rengoku, for the little time we had with him, he was phenomenal, a great character. Anybody who will sacrifice his life to people he barely knows, especially to a person who has a sister as a demon, and to say that she is part of the core of the pillars because she's fighting other demons, that dude's A+ in my book. Great stuff. Enjoy it. Thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I got more movie reviews. I just did Mortal Kombat. You can check that one out. I have TV reviews, anime reviews. I'm going to be talking more in depth, breaking down the Demon Slayer film and more thoughts on Joined with Chase tomorrow. So you can check that one out. So like the video. I would really appreciate it. Really brings more people to the channel. Gets to see what I do. I don't get paid for any of this. I do this because I love to give you guys my thoughts, and I love to hear you guys' thoughts. So I'm Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, and I will see you guys later, and you guys have a good, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.